You are now listening to Creator Corner.
Hi everyone, welcome to Creator Corner. I'm Dalia.
And I'm Mary.
And we're super pumped about our guest today. We're really excited to welcome D'Angelo Marcello Villavicencio into the podcast today. Welcome.
Thank you. You got my last name right. I can't believe that.
Yeah, I know that people are always messing up our last name, so I got to get it right. We're really excited to have D'Angelo on the podcast today. He is the head designer of There's Nothing Bolder, which is a fashion brand that is sustainable with one-to-one unique pieces. We're really excited to have you on the podcast today to just talk a little bit about the brand and how it has evolved since you started in 2015. But this space is for you, D'Angelo, so we're excited to jump in and hear more.
Right on. Yeah. There's Nothing Bolder. It's a brand based in the Bay Area. Like you said, it's a sustainable brand that we work old clothing into new, and basically I add value where value ain't found. And I'm just trying to inspire a new way of shopping, creating, and just expressing yourself, really.
That's awesome, D'Angelo. And just to get us started, we do like to ask them a couple rapid fire questions for our creators and for our guests. Anything that comes to mind is fair game. So just our first question is, if you can collab with another clothing brand, who would it be and why?
Yeah. If I could collab with another clothing brand that's similar to mine, I would choose Craig Lauren.
No, tell us.
I don't know if you guys heard of Craig Lauren, but he's Ralph Lauren's nephew, and basically he does a lot of similar work to me. But his pants are like the price tag is like you buying a car. I'm like, yeah, that shit
right.
Them G's got V6 in there.
Okay.
But I don't know who's paying that, so I ain't there. I'm with my people still, going horizontally, like that. We're not shooting up too fast. It's a process that I need everybody to be
Yeah, definitely
on the same page.
Need to check out Craig Lauren. Never heard of them, but that price tag sounds steep.
But
and then our next question is if you can be a different type of creative or artist outside of a fashion designer, what would you be?
I would really it sounds so typical, but I would be a rapper because I really like how rappers use their voice, and they kind of your voice is really like a pen, you write out plans and it manifests itself. So I like that. But a lot of the rappers nowadays need to realize where they're taking the world with their lyrics, because it's getting twisted out here.
Yeah,
and I don't really appreciate that shit.
Definitely, words have power, and so
there's rappers like LaRussell. He's like a rapper that you could tell his words are motivating, and Larry June makes you want to go get healthy. Rex Life Raj makes you want to tap in. There's rappers out there that are using their power the right way, and I appreciate a lot of music artists like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I agree. There's a lot of rappers out there that the platform is just being utilized with some of repetitive stuff, like the same audio tune stuff out there, and so I look into those unique rappers out there that are not part of those masses, which is the theme today as well, standing out. But D'Angelo, like I said, we're really excited to learn more about There's Nothing Bolder and hear a little bit about your perspective getting the brand started. Something that stood out to me in our conversations is that you said, this brand has grown with you. You started it in 2015. We're in, 2023. You've grown with the brand. We're so curious to just hear, what was some of that initial inspiration in developing There's Nothing Bolder?
Yeah. So TMB it started to be a clothing brand in 2015. But like we could take it back to 2012, where in high school I started like a group, TMB. It was a group of my friends that we just stuck together, and it was a great thing. But you know, like the thing, we stand out, and that kind of brings a lot of negative energy, especially because we were misguided. So a lot of the things we were doing was kind of gang-like, and it wasn't a gang. And I remember my boys tried to like transform it to a gang, and I was like, we got to slow down. They were like TMBG. They put a G in front of behind the TMB, like TMB gang. And I was like, nah. So I flipped that shit, and I was like, trust nobody but God. That's what I was rocking with. And then, you know, like a lot of shit happened. It was a dark time in my life, and a lot of us split up, and a lot of the boys became like real gang members. And I went and lost my mind in 2014 and 15, and it was a lot because I was aware. I was too aware, and I was letting shit get to me, like myself too, like all my actions. Like it was a dark time, and I was not ready to like stay there. So I had to like evolve and transform, and I did that through isolation. Really, like with my mom, I had to relocate from the Bay. I went to Woodland to sit down and really like. Woodland is a small town, and I had time to sit down and really like calm myself down, really. And I got off of drugs, and I ended up in the mental hospital, like, and they was giving me new drugs, and I was like, holy shit, I'm not ready for any of this. So I really like sat down in these dark times, and I had art to like just be alive, really. And like I had like sketches, I had like painting, I always used to distress my jeans. Like, you know, I just like would put holes in the knees and do the little, you know, the distressing. So that would keep me like busy, and I would offer it to people. I'd be like, you want me to distress your pants? I'll do it for $20. Like, and like I went back to my sketches, and I found the logo TMB, and I put a halo over it because, like I said, I was trying to start a new like life. I was trying to be better. I was trying to dead the old and like become a new, you know, and that's why I put the halo. And it's also for my homie that passed away in 2015. Like I did that for him too. But I just see how like the way I would try to like transform everything that was coming to me negatively, I try to turn it into something beautiful. That was before the brand starting. So like 2015, I'm getting on I'm working on my pride. I'm trying to be a different man, but not pride in a way where I'm like I'm better than you. It's just I'm better than me yesterday. Because if I'm who I am yesterday, I might just fucking kill myself or something, you know. And like I'm working on my pride because I got to like fill myself with something other than, like I said, drugs and fights and bullshit and fucking. So I started getting the logo that I drew, and I told you I started slapping it on hats and beanies, and I would go source for hats and beanies at the flea market in Roseville, and fucking so from there I would get the blank pieces, and I would go put the logo on at an embroidery shop, a mom and pop embroidery shop in Sacramento. And basically that's how I started the brand, really. And it was just, you know, circulating the logo, and you know, I did it for a few years, and it was cool. But like I said, I'm always aware. I'm looking around, I'm looking at things, and it's a different type of a stage though. So now I'm looking at things different. I'm looking at like clothing brands. I'm looking at what we're doing as designers, and I'm like, it's a lot of copy and paste going on. Like I'm walking around other vendors in the like pop-ups, and I'm like we're all doing the same thing, like, and that's okay. But me, I just wanted to like do a little more. And like I said, I'm chasing pride, and it's not the type of pride where I'm like better than these people. It's just that I need to go do this for me. And I had the idea. I was like, I'm trying to get on the sewing machine and really like make things that I could like hold, and I could be like, I made this, bro. Like, so that's where I was at in 2017. So 2 years after the startup. And then 2017 is when I had the idea to do more and create more. And it took me till 2019 to finally learn how to get on the sewing machine. And the way I learned was just, I was done waiting. I was asking people on Facebook, like, who could show me like sewing, and there was nobody. Nobody was coming. 2 years later, I'm getting it myself. I had a coworker. I was a barista in San Francisco. I had a coworker named Paige, I think her name was, and she would sew costumes in San Francisco. And I was like, okay. So we were talking, like, I told her how I told her about my vision. I was like, I want to get on the sewing machine. She was like, oh, just buy one and I'll send you a video of how to thread your machine. And then I was like, okay. And I did. And she told me step by step how to thread the machine. I could have used YouTube, but I'm more of a person to person type of person. I like to exchange stuff. And she taught me, and I was like, I just fucking was trial and error, man. I made a little like like a sock type thing. That was my first, like a little tiny bag, first project on there. And oh man, I'm skipping back in 2015. I was actually I should have brought it down here. I was actually embroidering patches by hand with the sewing needle, and I would put the patch on a blank hat, so they would be like the more exclusive hat than just the regular copy and paste. So I always would sew too. Like even when I was a kid, I would sew like pillows in class. I remember that. So I knew the concept of sewing. But when I got on this machine, like I remember my first project, it was a pair of pants, and it took me 3 days. Like it took days, and then even it took so long to undo my mistakes on the machine. I was like, damn, like, but it was a process that I needed, and I loved it, and I'm glad that I pushed myself to get on the machine, because it really changed the game.
But no, it sounds like, again, like there's nothing bolder. Is such a unique brand. You focus on that one-to-one piece, that very tangible of like, I'm gonna make this piece of clothing, and this is what, it's not gonna be mass produced. But how do you want, folks who buy your brand to represent TNB to feel when they're wearing your clothing?
Well, I don't know, really. Like the piece, when I give out a piece, it's really like, it's for you, and it doesn't matter if I get retention back to me. Like, it's all you. Like, but I want people to know that these pieces are a lot like us, Like, I'm getting a pair of piece, I'm tearing it apart, like what we do to ourselves, and I'm adding something that I think is better, that I think is gonna work, and I like it. And a lot of my pants and clothing has paint splatters, and that goes back to me being 18 years old, working in the Mission District. I used to be a painter and remodel houses, and I used to walk around after work, and people used to look at me and they'd be like, "Where'd you get those pants? Where'd you get those pants?" I was like, "Oh, what the hell?" But I had a style with my pants all the time. I would cut the pants at the bottom like the workers do. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but. Yeah, so my style has evolved, my skills have evolved, like it's all just just keeps going up. But again, like the piece, like these paint splatters just show how much work is being done on the piece, and that's like you, like me, like I'm working right now, like on myself, and that's a lot. And like another thing it reminds me of is like the paint splatters is like how we get dirty in real life and we kind of sin. But if I get more dirty on these pants, like it's kind of going to camouflage, and it's kind of how God looks at all the sins we commit. He forgives us, and it kind of like, it's not that it don't matter to him, but he forgives us, and it just it goes with the piece, with the person. Like, this is you. Don't be ashamed of your past. Don't be ashamed of your scars and your stains and how you're tainted, maybe, because you could come back.
It's so dope that you're sharing how your brand is such a representation of who you are. Your own personal experience, even you mentioned a little bit before we jumped on, like moving around quite a bit, being a bit of a nomad in that way. But then also how these splatters and the paint represent, a time in your life when you were, out there in the mission painting, and this is all part embedded in your brand. It's your life experience. It's who you are. And so, something that Mary and I talk a lot about is, the ways that art is also an opportunity to heal ourselves, an opportunity to transcend. You talked a little bit like some mistakes in the past, transcend that and transform that with art. I would like to hear a little bit, D'Angelo, a little bit more about how TNB has really allowed you to transform to this moment that you're at today in the present.
Man, I don't know, you guys. I'm so consumed in this. I don't even know how it's changed me, and I don't know. But sometimes, I do a lot for the brand, and sometimes I could feel my body getting jealous and my mind, and I started to shift more from building all these, because I have inventory. I have so much work I've done in the past years, but these past 2 years I've been working more on my body and my mind, and I've always been though, but now I'm in the books. I'm trying to eat healthy. I'm trying to be more mindful. I quit drinking 2 years now. I'm 4 days off of I'm not smoking weed no more. I'm just trying to evolve, as a man, not just as a brand, but the brand helped me feed myself. It helped me say, you know what, I don't need a job. I would work jobs, and I would sit there and just be like, damn, I could really start pushing my shit. So it really just helped me be independent, and just show people too that you can be independent. If I could do it, anybody could do it. And I'm doing it by myself. I live with my grandma. She told me when I moved in when I was 21, she's like, the only reason why I'm letting you come in here is because you have a dream and you're gonna chase it. So I'm chasing my dream in front of my grandma. She's watching me all the time. She sees this shit. So it's just it was a way. The brand helped me just take care of myself. Really take care of myself and my image, my mind, my body. Like I said, my mind and body looked at the brand hey, you're doing too much there. Come back over here. I'm trying to be more balanced for myself.
I think it just sounds amazing how not only has the brand grown, but you have grown as an individual with the brand, and together you have co-created not only your individuality, but also what this brand means to you and what your vision and dream is. And I know we've also did research on you, and we heard a story that back in 2015 you gave these bell bottoms to a friend or your brother, but it seems like you were so ahead of your time. So we're curious to hear how did you not lose that vision of being so ahead of your time back then? Because now bell bottoms, sustainable fashion is the buzz. So yeah, how did you navigate that in terms of not losing that vision of sustainability, being bold to back then to now where you're at?
Yep. So basically, like I said, when I was in the mission with the painted on jeans with the rips, the bottom looking like flared out. So it's just it just evolved, and I was able to keep evolving. It wasn't like I just jumped into this shit wearing skinny jeans talking about, oh, I'm selling stacks now, I'm selling flare jeans. No, this been me. So I'm sticking to the script, you feel me? This is me. But basically that story, I think it was more I don't know, my brother was in middle school though, so I would have to do the math, but he was in middle school. He was a 7th grader at Douglas Middle School. I sent him to school I styled him basically. And he told me he came back home and he was like, bro, they all made fun of me, and I was like, man, whatever, bro. I was like, when I wear this shit, I know how I feel. So that's how I feel. But my brother was going against other people than I was going against, though. And that's a lot. The crowd is gonna try to manipulate decisions. I went to go sell jeans in Oakland, you feel me, in projects. and fucking I'm dealing with a music artist, right? And it should have been one-on-one. Me and you, we're talking. But no, he has his friends in the background and they want to throw in their comments and shit, you know, like, and that shit it fucks with the person that's interested, like, and the people around us need to realize that their opinions need to be a little bit more silent, because not all opinions need
absolutely.
to be stated, you know?
And that's, as Mary and I were thinking about There's Nothing Bolder, that's exactly what stood out. How you've remained so grounded in ensuring who you are, even beyond 2015. It sounds like you sewing and with a needle back in the day. This is something that is who you've been always and who you are now. And as we said, you've brought in sustainability into the brand. Everything is made by hand. Everything is one-to-one and unique. Can you tell us a little bit about that process of creating these one-to-one unique pieces? How do you source, your material, and how do you bring it together, that vision?
So basically, the way I source is I go thrifting a lot. I get donations from friends and family. Like, yep, that's how I get the old clothes around here. And after that, a lot of my creative process starts from cleaning. Like, I'll be cleaning my lab, and I'll run into a piece of fabric that I'm like, okay, I'm putting you right here. And like, I'm adding more things, and that's how like things fall together for me. Like, I'm like trying to organize and clean, but as I'm doing that, I'm like seeing things that are calling to me, like things that I might have had sitting there for a year type. So that's my creative process. But I like to stack up all my my potential pieces coming up, and then once I have like 10 or 20, I'll get into all day I'm cutting, and then next day I'm sewing. Next day I'm painting on them. Last day I'm tagging them and taking pictures. So that's like my kind of process. Right now I only have 2 on the shelf. I'm kind of slow right now. But like I said, I have so much inventory. I gotta kind of slow down, actually.
No, definitely. It sounds like you have a very just a creative process that works for you, and it builds on. Like you said, maybe you might see a piece of fabric and you're like, oh, that could look good over there in that piece, and then you build it on. Then you start kind of the sewing piece and the painting piece, and then the putting it together, and then finally promoting it in a picture. So that's definitely a very unique creative process. I guess we're curious to hear, because again, you focus a lot on that one-to-one piece, a piece that you created with your hands. Kind of like, how do you differentiate yourself from, how the mass productions, the fast fashion? Like, can you share a little bit about your thoughts on, why keep the sustainability piece? Why not like do it in mass production? Like, it's easier.
Yeah, I'm really against that. Like, I have like clothing manufacturers always hitting me up in my Instagram, like, oh, let me make this piece for you. Let me do this for you. I'm like, bro, like, that's not TMB. It's not TMB, bro. Like, I'm not with it. But yeah, there's the fast fashion problem is really more big where we don't see it. It's all behind closed doors. It's twisted and dark, and it's mostly overseas, and it's mostly them twisted ass rich people up top that are like just trying to get over on people to make more money, and it just ain't my style. So I'm fucking with it here at home, and I'm serving people here by home type shit. I do all my sales in person. I do sometimes I ship, but I like that part too. I get to like really like connect with the people that are trying to connect with me, and that's what really keeps me going, is everybody that I'm meeting. Like, I'm meeting people that are teaching me things, and it's a beautiful connection. It's a beautiful exchange. Like, I really appreciate everybody that's tapped in with TMB.
Yeah, that's incredible. The connections that you're building simply by having your brand be unique, be one-to-one, staying true to who you are. And you know, something that stood out to me was, you know, you made yourself a designer. You know, the world didn't tell you you're a designer. You chose to be a designer, and you know, the community stood behind that. So can you tell us a little bit about, you know, that community around you, you know, the support that they've poured into you throughout the process of designing, of, you know, building this brand?
So I first started with my folks up north in Woodland. After I needed, like did I say it on camera? Like I needed to take a break from the bay, and I like had to go rebuild my mind in a more quieter setting, you know. But my folks out there was very supportive, you know. But that was step one. Like I said, just the copy and paste the hats with the logo, beanies with the logos. They were with me. There was a lot of love out there, and appreciate everybody out there. But then when I stepped back into the Bay Area, I had a cousin that helped me get into a CBO, a community-based organization called RTP, Roadmap to Peace, and I really needed it back then. Like I got a DUI in I think 2018 or 17, I don't know, but like it was just a point where, oh yeah, it wasn't just a DUI. I fell asleep while driving, and like it was fucked up. It was May 5th. The day my homie passed, and I used to get too drunk that day, and I thought I could drive from South San Francisco to Woodland in the middle of the night, and I ended up crashing in Dixon at 2:30 in the middle of the night. Like it was ridiculous. Like me thinking that I could do everything, but and me dealing with pain, like it really that's why I'm trying to deal with everything a little differently, because I can't be making mistakes like that. So back to the DUI, like there was a point in my life where, you know, people was looking at me like, oh yeah, like you, like, so my cousin pointed me in the direction. Instead of judging me, she pointed me in the direction of people that could help me. And Roadmap to Peace is a place where I really rebuilt my community. And it was in the Mission District. And they set me up with a career coach, and I was telling him everything about me and what I like. You know, I'm an entrepreneur. He found that out quick, and he was like, you know, we have an entrepreneur workshop. I think it was like an 8-week workshop, and after the workshop, we'll give you $600 if you attend all of it. And I was like, let's go, bro, let's go. And in that place, like, I met a lot of people that just recognized me as an entrepreneur, and that's what really helped me a lot too, because up in Woodland I was just doing it just because I wanted to, you know, it was just off the feet, like, but now I'm being noticed back in my hometown type shit where my family's from. So it was beautiful. And then I started seeing how like dots started reconnecting but stronger, and it was just a beautiful process right there. Just going back into community, and you know, having my cousin like walk me in there. And then when I got into that organization, I started seeing old P&B boys. I was like, what are you doing here? I was like, what the fuck? Like, so that's how you traveling right now, bro? Because my boy was traveling with them, and because my boy got that fire, so I was able to like add to the fire, and I was just, you know, we took off. Like I kept growing, and I think we should grow out in public, like a lot of us, you know, we like to keep things to ourselves, but I kind of I'm an oversharer really, and I like that shit, like, because like for example, I've taught 6 people how to sew on the sewing machine, no cost. I just wanted to do something that I needed. Like, imagine if someone tried to tax me when I was looking for the way to my future. Like, what the hell? Gatekeeping as fuck. So I'm not like that. Like, if I see somebody need something, like I'm gonna try my best to like try to provide that. And most of the time, like, I don't have like money to provide, but I have like inspiration and motivation and a lot of love to provide. And
Yeah,
That's kind of like all
super,
we need for real.
you know, just like that's how I define community, to be honest. Exactly what you said. There's no gatekeeping. There's, you know, sharing knowledge and paying it forward. You know, shout out to Paige who taught you how to initially sew, and now you're here. You're sharing that knowledge with other folks that are coming in your path and are also looking to, you know, do their own thing as well. And so, yeah, I love that. I think that is what community is. It's, you know, being able to, maybe you can't provide the monetary support, but you're there and you're sharing that knowledge forward. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, D'Angelo.
Yeah, and a community also is like connecting the dots, you know. Like I have an older homie named Marlon, and he knew I was on the machine. I used to be on the machine when all my homies around me were turned the fuck up. Like I'm making clothes with cocaine sniffers and drunk ass motherfuckers, and whew, like bro, it's crazy. Like how I stay so focused in the chaos. Like I don't even understand sometimes, but I do, because I knew where I came and I knew I couldn't go back. Like, but I do my shit in front of like people that are like, you know, like I'm not gonna say lost, but like a little misguided. And I'm just hoping that, you know, we're not gonna do this shit together, but you could enjoy the whole journey with me type shit. So my boy, like I said, he was connected to dots. I'm on the machine. His dad is he used to maintain the industrial machine. So from the little machine like this, I got on the big machine. Like there's a whole table that comes with the machine. It got an engine, a motor in the bottom. Like, so I got my foot into that, and then we would talk a lot. And he would tell me, he knew I wanted to make jeans. He was like, you know, you need he told me it was like 7 different sewing machines to make one pair of pants. And I was like, damn, like, so I got a serger right here. I got a straight stitch, like, and I still need more. But I'm working with what I got, and I'm working with my people that are able to connect the dots with me and put me on with people that like OG Fritz. His name was Fritz. I would go around with him. He didn't have a car, so I would drive him around to his maintenance jobs, and he would fix sewing machines in front of me. And I would try to pick up on anything I can, and I did. But it was short lived. But I enjoyed the experience. Like I didn't really learn how to fix a machine, but you know, I was around shit that I wanted to be around. It was inspiring.
Yeah, definitely. And just speaking on like transitioning into just looking ahead and speaking on, I know you talked about like paying it forward, giving that inspiration, or even teaching people how to sew for free just because you wanted to help out. What advice would you have for young fashion designers who wants to create a brand with that is purpose driven and mission driven like yours, to really uplift their own community?
Yeah, I would say just you got to stay mentally strong. Like everything I'm doing is kind of like going against where I want to go, all the success and the sales and my brand being a name in the Bay. Like everything I'm doing is kind of going against it. I'm kind of like corny, I guess. Like the way I'm healing out loud and the way I'm vulnerable as fuck. Like these motherfuckers don't like that shit. They don't, like, at all. But I'm gonna still be me because it's gonna bring me what I need. Like, so I'm not gonna fake the funk just to cater to people that I don't even want to fucking deal with. Like, so I'd rather just, lead the way, and the people that are, that feel the vibe, that feel like this is them, this is
attracting the folks that resonate with your brand. Those are the folks that you want, behind you. And I really, just to really appreciate our time here in conversation, D'Angelo, because I think it is so incredible that you're able to talk so openly about your journey and, share about who you are now in the present with your brand. It's been really incredible to just hear about that process of getting started to, where you're at now. But, I'm curious, like in the future, where do you see this brand heading? What does the future look like for TNB?
As I was telling you, the past is very dark and kind of like, well, the future for TNB kind of like not shutting people off, but like I'm just like trying to like go a new way, and I'm very like I have trust issues, you know. I have a problem because I could open up easy, but I have like a trust issue, like, and it's not that I'm not scared or anything, but it's just like I would rather try to keep it in my own hands than anybody else's. But for the future, I would love to open up and try to get a team going, because this shit is a lot by yourself. I love it, but at the same time, it's a lot on your mental, especially when you're looking around and everybody's like, you know, like kind of not with it type shit. Like, it ain't their job to be with it, but you know, like it fucks with your mental, and it's not a good way. Like, so I would really like to have a team that we could like really like take over. I would like to just, and plus, you know, my narrative is very like sad and dark a lot, and I would like to really like it if like have a marketer or a fucking have something more upbeat, and I would love more to get off the fucking internet too. I would love that shit. So if I could just like work on my clothes, hand it off, like take a picture and hand it off, I would love that shit so much, because the internet is fucking whack as fuck. I only like it because it helps me connect to the right ones, but you can get caught up on some fucking comparing and just like, you know, just a lot of negativity up in there.
Yeah, so definitely scaling the brand, getting, you know, other folks in to help and take over the social media so you can really focus on the vision and, you know, the art that you're creating. Now that's awesome. You know, and just a couple of questions to wrap up our conversation. D'Angelo, if you had 5 words to describe your creative process, you know, what would those 5 words be?
Yeah, for sure, innovative, creative. I would say it's I would call it refreshing for sure. And
yeah,
my creative process is inspiring, because I've done shit in front of everybody. Like I said, I be making clothes in front of motherfuckers that they're telling me now, like, bro, I am so glad you stayed focused, bro. And look at you now, like 5 years later, bro. Like, yes, bro, I was focused as fuck, bro. Like, and thank you, bro. Like, I love you, bro. But I need you to come with me, bro. Like, we need to level up. So I think I have one more word, I think, and I would say it's very spiritual too, because it's very spiritual.
Yeah, it's definitely amazing. Yeah, and I mean, you can add on bold there too.
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, can you just tell our audience, like, where can we find you on social media? I know you don't like it, but so that we can promote your work as well.
Yeah, you could find me on social media at There's Nothing Bolder, no spaces. There's Nothing Bolder.
There we go. That's where we can find D'Angelo. You can see some of his unique pieces on there. He's posting the photos there often, and so that's the best place to connect, purchase these pieces. They're all 1-to-1, so you got to come quick. But yeah, like I said, like, this has been a really insightful conversation. We appreciate the space that you've shared with us here today, and you know, we're really excited just to see how the brand evolves and continues to elevate.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for shining light on all the creators out here.
Definitely.
Thank you, D'Angelo.
Thanks, D'Angelo. Appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in. Creator Corner is a podcast production presented by the Ars Network. It is hosted by Dalia Zaragoza and Mary Figueroa. This podcast is edited and produced by Muhammad Abdullah Kawish.